Um, Now, had you released guilt along with being a Hawkins student and the pursuit of enlightenment? It's actually a great question. And unfortunately, or fortunately, if you seek enlightenment, or and Hawkins was an avatar, so if you listen to him regularly, uh, you know, as you become more, as your consciousness evolves, you realize there's a greater and greater awareness of the responsibility to be all that you can be and not waste time. Not waste time on all the temptations and all the things that stop your spiritual growth and your commitment to spiritual growth. So you realize that on multiple levels, that life is short. And if you've got this spiritual awareness of what to do, the value of just doing it rather than wasting time. So it can, unfortunately, a part of that, I mean, I think the wonderful part of that is that you evolve at your fastest rate to be all you can be, and that there is no greater joy in life than becoming and actualizing your potential to the highest level in this lifetime and not wasting time. However, and being the light and the love, and not getting mired in temptations. Um, However, it can engender guilt, um, especially like, why am I still holding on to these problems? Why did I waste my whole life eating donuts and watching Netflix? Um, and others, what about the illuminated masters? I'm not. And what did I do with myself? So it brings up all kinds of things which can engender guilt or remorse or just morbidness or self-pity or just, I don't want to feel the guilt, so I'm just going to watch Netflix and eat some more donuts. This is too much. And unconsciously do that. So the way to do that, of course, for myself is to recognize, well, you can, if you notice the guilt, then you can pray to the Holy Spirit to reveal the intrinsic nature if you're not sure. But if it's like, let's say, oh, I feel guilty. I've been a horrible son with my father, or now that I'm becoming more consciously aware, then it would be to use all the spiritual mechanisms on that guilt to transcend it. I always, if there's a feeling of guilt and there's thoughts associated with it, for me, it's always transcendence. So it's always, how do I disappear it ASAP so that the guilt disappears, the energy of the feeling of guilt and the thoughts associated with disappear from consciousness. So, and they no longer keep coming back. So there's stacks of emotions. So there could be, you don't call it guilt, it's just an energy, a feeling. So you just sit with that and not label it until it dissipates, and it will come in waves, and you just allow those energies to be experienced, and they'll go away eventually. You might have to sit with it for hours, but it will go away, and then 3 days later it comes back at a lesser level. Sit with it, go away, and eventually it doesn't come back forever. And that stack of guilt is done, all the lifetimes of repressed guilt. And there's a pattern, like the guilt might be associated with a thing or a pattern or related to a number of things. So you just cancel. Is it associated with your father? Is it associated with guilt with what your own actions? So you just, as you become aware of them, just cancel those, or you can do inventory, or if you just at a level of the observer, you can witness them till they disappear and go into the infinite that no longer attaches, and that will start to dissipate the story of guilt and also the emotion, the energy, because the witnesser is not witnesses both the feeling of guilt and the thoughts associated. So as you go into the witnesser and the detached witnesser, where it starts to disappear, that starts to evaporate the attachments to those energies and thoughts. Um, so yeah, just transcend it, just make it simple and do the work to whichever you feel called to evaporate it until it ceases to come back and exist, and that's transcendence. So I wish you miracles with that, and it's all quite simplistic. So if you've let go of guilt in a story associated with guilt or at any level, you can do it. And then when you do it for all levels, then it's gone for good. It won't come back. Okay, let's stop there.